Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is EZRIR FARHAN bin NASIR, and I'm paired with Hamilton for this assignment, which is where we have to pick an article and find a sentence within it. So the sentence I chose was: Sagna, who played 65 times for France national team, knows more than most how a death of a loved one can impact the ability to focus on soccer. So we start off with S sentence, and then I split it into two, which is main clause and non-restrictive mod. So we'll go to the main clause first, which have the noun phrase subject proper noun Sagma, which is the name of a football player, and then I linked it to VP pred. The main clause is linked to VP pred, where we have our first main verb in the present tense, which is verb transitive knows, and then we have an adverb phrase manner, adverb of manner, and the adverb is more. I pulled it down more, where we have a prepositional phrase adjective that functions as an adjective, and the preposition is then, and then we pulled it to noun phrase object preposition, and the pronoun is most. So from the VP pred, I pulled it to a noun phrase direct object since there's a verb transitive, and I made another line from noun phrase direct object to a noun clause. So in the noun clause, we have a subordinate how, and then we pulled the noun clause, where we have the noun phrase subject, the determiner, indirect article the noun phrase, and then we pulled it down noun def, and then we pulled from the phrase to have a prepositional phrase, a genitive one. So of is the preposition, and then we have a noun phrase object preposition. We have a determiner indirect article and then I pulled from noun phrase object preposition to a noun phrase adjective loved and a cardinal number one. So we go back to the second noun clause where on the second line, and then I split it into a VP pred. Uh, so in the VP pred, we have our main verb, which is in the present we have the auxiliary modal verb can, which makes it a conditional, and we have a verb transitive impact. So as you know, when we have a verb transitive, we need to have a direct object. So I pulled from VP pred to a noun phrase direct object. In the noun phrase direct object, we have the determiner, the definite article the, and then I pulled from the noun phrase direct object to a noun phrase, noun ability, and in the noun phrase we also have an infinitive phrase. So what makes this an infinitive phrase is that after the word to in here, there's a base form of the verb, which is focus. So when we go to infinitive phrase, we have the subordinate to, and then we pull it to infinitive phrase again, where we have the main verb in the present tense, which is verb intransitive focus, and we pulled from the infinitive phrase where we have the preposition phrase adverb of reception, uh, preposition on, and the noun phrase object preposition is the noun soccer. And I also pulled the NRM was supposed to be at the end, but since I didn't have space, I included in at the bottom of this, but I linked it to the sentence S. The line is linked to S. So what makes it an NRM is because the sentence can stand without it. It just adds additional information about Sagma. So in the NRM, we have a relative clause, and the relative clause is split into two: noun phrase subject and verb phrase predicate. So in the noun phrase subject, we have a relative pronoun who, uh, and then in the verb phrase predicate, we have the main verb in the past tense, verb transitive played. So as usual, verb transitive meaning there's a noun phrase direct object. So in the noun phrase direct object, we have the cardinal number 65. We have the noun, which is times, and then we put from the noun phrase direct object into a prepositional phrase adjective. Uh, so in the preposition is for. From the prepositional phrase adjective, we put it to a noun phrase object preposition, which has determiner, definite article the, and there's noun phrase, proper noun France. We pulled it more, noun phrase, adjective national, and the last one is noun team. So that is all for my presentation. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Today I'll be presenting my diagram sentence for an article that me and my pair chose, which is a sports article. Though in the sports article itself, it's talking about the football player who is deceased and how they're going to process it. The sentence that I chose in that article is Sagna told CNN Sports that the counseling allowed him to refine himself as a human being. First, not as a soccer player. So, let's first look at the diagram itself, and I will tell you how I identified these clauses and structures. Now, as you can see, I begin by first seeing out the full sentence itself by splitting it into noun subject and verb predicate. And then I then split it down more into becoming a proper noun, which is sakna. And then in verb predicate, I split it off into three, which is the verb, the noun object, as well as the CP compound. The verb is basically just told afterwards. It is then afterwards the verb, which is just told, which is a transitive verb, and then afterwards we have the noun phrase of object, which is the indirect object. The object is basically a proper noun, which is CNN Sports. That's where I split it off from there. Afterwards, we go to complementarization of the phrase, which is the CP comp, which is then split off into subject complementary friends, which then I split it into noun phrase subject and verb phrase predicate as again, which then splits into determiner, which is the, and then a noun counseling. For the verb phrase predicate, I basically created a complementary clause, which then splits it off into verb, noun phrase, indirect object this time, as well as to verb predicate because I have to split it again, turning it into a verb, which is the allowed, which inscribes the action upon him. This embedded clause reports what the counseling did, which allows opening up space to an infinitive phrase, in a sense of words. Next, we see the noun phrase of the object, which becomes pronoun, which is him, which is sagna, and then to verb phrase. To is basically just to, which is the verb as well. To is basically infinitive, marking the purpose results that allow it, of allowed. Afterwards, we've split it off to verb predicate again, to verb, which is refine, which is a signal transformation. And then we split it off to noun object again, becoming pronoun reflective of himself, which is Sagni. Then we split off from noun adjective of pro-reflective into preposition phrase, which is the preposition as a human, and then we split off that into preposition noun phrase, determiner of a, and then determiner of noun, which is human being. And if we combine all those together, it's as a human being the prepositional phrase that reframes the identity. Afterwards, we split it off into adverbs of manner, which splits off into adverb which of the first, which is prioritizing human beings over everything else, which is connected to that. Afterwards, the last one is conjunction and contrast, which then splits off to CC to not just, and then splits off to noun phrase, the subject, then splits off into determiner and then to noun, which, if combine those words together, not just a soccer player is a contrastive phrase that challenge the narrow label. Together, they carry a very much important weight on that, improving performances in that sort of way. So why does all of this matter in the sense of the words? This matters is because we both see the main and embedded clauses working in tandem in this. The subject object complement each other into creating a direct message, and the modifiers with creating adding words like the first and not just shift the focus of the role itself. Uh, so that's what we did. So that's what I did for my diagram sentence, as you can see from here. Hopefully, this will make it a better understanding of what I was able to figure out during my understandings of chapter 1 to chapter 9 of the syllabus. Thank you so much for joining in this, letting me talk about the diagram sentence itself, uh, and that is it.